Everybody on the internet right now seems to hate Forspoken. Now, this game is a bit of a gigantic question mark because as it stands, even though we have seen about 20 minutes of gameplay, we really don't know that much about it. It's this weird game that seems to be about a girl transported from New York into a Final Fantasy-esque universe, but it's one of those games where it's been delayed, it's been talked about, but we really don't know what we're getting. But they just released a new trailer that everybody agrees is the most cringe, terrible, controversial piece of trash ever. But I want to talk about why this trailer, which is only 30 seconds long, has managed to stir up a lot of conversation. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I want to just start things off by showing you this thing itself. Let me just do a gigantic cringe warning. This is some truly peak awful conversation. If the game is actually spoken, if the dialogue is written like this, people are going to be hating this game. But here it is. You can see this is a promoted tweet. Square Enix paid tens of thousands of dollars to promote this specific trailer to make sure that you saw it, so buckle up. Are you ready for a beautiful and cruel new land, twisted monsters, an array of magical abilities, and sentient jewelry? Alright, so these are the worst jokes ever. Here we go.
So let me get
this.
this
Spell
straight.
effects are pretty good.
I'm somewhere that's not what I would call Earth. I'm seeing freaking dragons.
Freaking dragons?
Oh yeah, I'm talking to a cuff.
Oh gosh. Like, the spell effects look good.
Yeah, okay, that is something I do now. I do magic, kill jacked up beasts. I'll probably fly next.
So obviously, the issue with this is that it's incredibly freaking poignant, ridiculous cringe. There is this style of writing that's becoming more popular, which is like self-aware, self-deprecating, like meta jokes. And honestly, it's very, very annoying. Now, a lot of Marvel movies do this, and I'm not specifically hating on them, but it's that type of thing where, like, you'll be fighting a gigantic killer of gods, and you gotta be like, oh man, he's the god butcher. Hope he doesn't butcher any gods. Oh. They're doing this with video games now. Like, people keep making fun of it here. People saying it sounds like one of those bad CW shows. It sounds like it needs a freaking laugh track. Now, here is such a great example. There's a ton of people. This tweet is being roasted into the freaking pavement. Literally, it's been trending now of people making fun of this. But right here, this is a great example, I feel like, which is a very serious game that manages to have extremely well-written humor in it, which is the Yakuza games. What if they used this style of cringe humor instead? Want to know my name? I'm Kazuma Kiryu, the Dragon of Dojima. Oh man, that sounded way cooler in my head, sorry. I'm always catching hands with the fiercest fighters in Japan. Uncovering underworld conspiracies and cut to Yakuza 2 baby sub-story. Yeah, that's something for me to tell my therapist. Bad humor can ruin good jokes. Like, that's kind of the problem with this, is that even if this game ends up playing well, everybody is making fun of the fact that this dialogue is freaking terrible. Now, I actually wanted to talk about this. A lot of people in the writing world refer to this style of dialogue as Whedonesque because Joss Whedon sort of invented it. Like, if you're going to have Spider-Man fighting bad guys, I'm completely obsessed with Spider-Man. Spider-Man does make jokes, but Spider-Man also takes serious moments serious. If there is a nuclear bomb that's about to go off or there's some sort of terrible travesty, he's able to reflect and deal with the situation. It's not always just joke, joke, joke. Whedonesque stuff will have a character actually die, and 30 seconds later a character's like, guess we're gonna have to mop that up. It ruins even good moments. The essential problem with Whedonesque dialogue is that it has no respect for wonder, terror, or mystery. It's rolling its eyes at the most profound visions of ecstasy and horror that the universe has to offer. And this, in my opinion, completely nails the problem with dialogue like it seems Forspoken is going to have, is that imagine that you are a real person pulled into the Final Fantasy universe and you suddenly have powers and you're trying to save this far-off mystical land. Are you really going to be like, oh man, guess it's a hot day while you're shooting fire? No, you're going to be like, all right, cool, let's deal with this. It's annoying how much it feels like they don't respect the world that they've made. Now, I actually wanted to show you something here, which is absolutely insane. Somebody decided to make a parody of this trailer using Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Now, this is 21 seconds. It's brilliance.
Here I am, doing everything that I can, holding on to what I freaking am, pretending I'm like some jacked up super. Yeah, okay, that's something I do now.
Yeah. Here is the perfect example about why this stuff does not work. There needs to be some amount of seriousness. Good jokes can exist. I'm not saying I'm anti-humor. Obviously, I'm Mr. Yuck Yuck. I like to do funny voices or be Kermit the Frog. Like, I enjoy good jokes, but there is a time and a place where you need to catch your breath and realize what's actually going on. Now, let me just say this. There are funny Final Fantasy games. There are serious Final Fantasy games. I think there's great moments that have existed across the entire freaking catalog of Square Enix experiences. But my problem is that if you're going to try and mock it this much, it is at the detriment. Like, looking at Forspoken itself, the gameplay is dark. The gameplay, the graphics, the art style, it seems like this is going to be a very gritty, very cool, very flashy experience. It is going to, I mean, honestly, in my mind, it's going to undermine that if every time I am fighting a dragon, I'm like, oh no, it's a freaking dragon. I guess I'm still just stunned about this because there are a bunch of rumors that right now that two separate things at once. Forspoken is apparently done. There are rumors that the game is finished, even though it hasn't officially gone gold. Apparently the development is pretty much feature complete. The game is done. The reason they didn't release it this year is because the rumor is they're trying to get out of the way of God of War Ragnarok. So this is their way of sort of like dodging that bullet. But additionally, it just feels like this is supposed to be a big headliner project that Square Enix wanted to pump possibly hundreds of millions of dollars into making something that is a completely new franchise, and they're going to ruin it with the goofiest of the goofiest talk. Like, don't make people talk like it's Sesame Street. Don't make people talk like they're background characters to Tony Stark's second henchman. I know that writing and directing styles like Taika Waititi are very popular right now, and I appreciate that humor, but having just tons of like, oh man, oh, I can't believe we're stopping the world, I'm Taika Waititi, oh man, oh, what are we going to do? That kind of stuff wears thin when there is an actual sense of scale and pressure and freaking intensity. You are screwing over your own project. I know it sounds like I'm being very, very revelly in this, but straight up, I think that this dialogue, if this is the way they talk in the entire game, it's going to flop. I am actually going to go ahead and put my foot down on that. If this is how they talk in the game, people are not going to buy it. Like, how am I supposed to care about a universe where the main character doesn't care? Like, if you've been transported here, if you're fighting these monsters and even you don't give a crap, I feel like the audience isn't going to give a crap. There are definitely styles of humor that work in books. There's styles of humor that work in comics. There's styles of humor that work in movies. And separately, there is a style of humor that definitely works best in video games. And I feel like this waka waka bad self-punchline stuff. Spider-Man, that's a pretty weird name. Okay, yeah, these kind of jokes do not work for video games, especially if you're trying to save the world. But these have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts because honestly, this is a big old bucket of cringe, and it's kind of been funny to watch everybody laugh at this and definitely not with this. What do you think about Forspoken? Are you excited for it? Do you want to buy it? Or does this look like a wet fart in an elevator? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And please, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe. And also keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.